Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hey, it's Mike. Today's show is brought to you by Encore Insurance Services, LLC. For a free life insurance quote, just visit smartterm.com or call 866-347-5748 and find out how much you could be saving on life insurance. Again, that's 866-347-5748 or smartterm.com.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
A couple of things I want to bring up at the beginning of our show today. Number one is yesterday we had a 4 p.m. conference call with the client, and we usually do our conference calls mid-morning, right around the same time we're doing the show. We occasionally have them in the afternoon, and I have a tremendously bad track record with afternoon conference calls and forgetting them. And so I am here to come clean. I texted my coworkers yesterday and said that Carla took the car with my phone in it. That is not true. That was a lie.
You're kidding.
Why would you lie? Why would you do that? But I'll get to that in a second. The phone.
So silly.
You know what? He nailed it. That's silly.
It's silly.
Okay, hold on a second. That's true to a certain extent. The phone there's one thing I do all the time. I leave the car with my phone in it when I'm at home. I guess I'm so delighted to be home, and I usually put
good.
Life is so wonderful down here in Cocoonville. I'm so glad to be back with my elderly friends that I jump out of the car, I spring into my home, and I'm just like, here we are in my 1,700 square foot shack. I'm very happy to be down here. But I leave my phone. I take my phone and put it in the center console of the car when I'm driving, and inevitably I will walk into the house, I will sit down and say, oh, I've got to call this person, and my phone will be in the car. Now, so yesterday,
I forget. Do you have a landline in your shack?
No, I do not have a landline.
So you're one of those
I'm
cool
one of those
guys.
people. Yeah, I'm one of the cool guys. Well, I have no need for a landline.
If it's important, they'll call me back.
Of course.
But also, the fact is, the landline for down here, for my purposes, with the big move, the landline was not functional for me. I wanted to keep my number that I had back in Virginia and the number that I had down here. So that's why I use it down here.
That makes sense.
Right? Have I made that clear to you?
Yes, yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Is that working for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so the fact is, so I leave.
You.
I know.
I
was on the conference call.
Well, it started
early.
Okay. You know what? It started with the whole bring the computer back to the studio thing, but we'll get to that in a minute. Man. So anyway, my point is,
now you're
leave
bringing
the phone.
off-air stuff on air.
Yeah, that was so bad.
No,
yeah, well,
kind of
it's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. It's being forgetful. It's being forgetful. It's forgetting important things. But the fact is, I got off the air yesterday, and I said to Carla, I said, I've got a 4 p.m. conference call. I drive Carla over to the grocery store, and I stay in the car with the Bambino, and she goes in to just get a few things in the grocery store.
What brand of grocery store?
Publix.
Oh, Publix, good. That's a great store.
Yeah, so she runs
store.
in there, and I am sitting there with the baby, and for some reason I say, I got to remember, she said, okay, do you want to do anything else? I said, no, I want to get back to the house. I got a 4 p.m. conference call. So I get back to the house, and I read to my son. I read a couple of books to my son, and the time is beginning to tick by, and then I turn on the golf channel with my son and watch the tournament that's on, the ladies' tournament that's in the middle of the day.
Nice.
And the ladies have technically sound swings compared to the pro. The pros can be a little unique and quirky. Ladies are much more technical, so I figure this is good for him. I don't know why I'm giving you all this detail.
No,
but the fact is, the clock on the wall, suddenly I look down at my watch, and it's 4:30.
You lost
and I look, and I look down
minutes on women's golf?
And I look down, I look down, and I see there's no phone. Because I said, well, the phone would have, somebody might have given me a heads-up text, and so I run out to the car, and it's 4:30, and that's when I texted you guys and said, Carla, I left the phone in the car. Carla ran some errands. Carla didn't run any errands. The phone was sitting in the driveway, just there. The clock on the wall went by the 4 o'clock, and you guys had to handle the the conference call, the teleconference, where you all jump in and they're like, who's here? And they kind of like take roll call to make sure that you're there. They took roll call, and were you two? Was it just us yesterday, or was it going to be like 9 other DJs?
There was another podcaster and there was
another radio
a
station.
boss jock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that the worst possible scenario. But I actually now, is it worse when I'm not there if there are multiple shows, or is it worse if it's just us?
This actually hurts my feelings because I know that they love you, Mike O'Mara.
That you are the one they love.
So much.
I can't even begin to describe how horrible I felt. I really did.
That when they're going through roll call, you almost feel that after they go through Rob and I, that they're waiting for Mike to pipe up and say, Mike O'Mara.
That's right.
Mike O'Mara show.
That's right.
And Carla said, well, why didn't they text you? I said, well, they don't text me because the conference call starts before my guys even know that I'm not there. And you really can't. You guys are on your cell phones, too, probably, so you really can't text me
And we don't want
while
to
that's
be
going on.
nudges. And if we would have texted you, you still wouldn't have gotten it.
That's
Wouldn't
true.
have gotten it because the phone was in the car.
Yeah.
But
But
you
maybe
said
a neighbor
car,
would
you
have gotten
said car, you said phone in a car. Phone.
You know what would have been great is if you had let your windows down and the text went through. One of your neighbors heard the text, picked up and phoned in. Hi, this is Wilson from Palm Springs.
In the future, Mike, I will text you and I will text Carla. I will text both
well,
of
you've
you.
done that before, and I think that's but that once
Starting
again
2 hours
yesterday.
out.
But no, once again yesterday that would not have helped.
Yeah,
because I was saying it all day, and I said it. Here's what happens with my brain. I think I actually psych myself into missing an appointment. I had nothing. I had nothing going on. I wasn't anywhere. I didn't have to go to my fleet of doctors yesterday. I was not on the links enjoying my fellow 80-year-olds out here. I was not. I was in the home with my son waiting for our business conference call yesterday, and I blew it.
Now, a question.
I blew it.
I've watched my share of
Felt
golf.
horrible.
I've watched my share of golf in my lifetime, but I've never been into the ladies' golf. Is it so intriguing that you can lose 45 minutes on it?
No, here it is. I do not let my son, and I won't until he's 2.5, 3 years old, watch programming that's designed for children. It has been, there are many articles written on the fact that all the causes some learning issues. And so I believe that, and, you know, we're going with some of the people that say that, and we're kind of low-keying the television.
He's still like Charlie Rose.
No.
He will watch the Today Show or news program. If we have the TV on in the background, he's becoming more intrigued with it, and I'm disturbed by that.
He's a big 700 Club fan.
Yeah, I love that.
But golf, he watches. And he will watch. It's the cutest thing. Rob, if you could see this, he stands in front with a little plastic putter.
Yeah.
And he watches the guys on the PGA Tour teeing off, and you see him bend his knees, and then he takes a little swing, and he watches them swing. And I've never seen anything like it, and I'm doing nothing to discourage this.
He already knows he has to get that scholarship because his father didn't get on those sales calls.
That's right.
It's already ingrained in him. So it's fun to watch. But I had nothing on the dock, and I was in a terrible way about it. I didn't like the fact that I did that, and I was really kind of unhappy about it until I realized this morning when I woke up that we have a celebrity. Our intern Mac.
Yes.
Many of you might not realize this was on a Super Bowl commercial. Now, it was without his beard, and it was years ago. He was the kid. If you look at him, he made out with Bar Raffaelli in the Super Bowl ad. If you look, bring him up. If someone can bring a picture of him, we don't have any of our computer people here
we do
today. Bring a picture of the kid from the and obviously this is a younger one, and they use some sort of doppelganger. Or Mac actually went to New York today to be on the Today Show when they were going over Super Bowl commercials, and our intern Mac, without his beard, was featured in that ad for the Super Bowl, making out with the supermodel, and it's pretty amazing. If you put those two guys side by side, you do a little modification on the hair.
Yeah, you know what?
You will see. It's Mac. That's Mac. That's intern.
They curled his hair. They definitely curled.
They curled his hair and they shaved his beard.
Yeah.
And put glasses on him. Big horn rimmed glasses on him.
Yeah. But he's got the complexion. Yeah, he looks good. No wonder he's not here today, bringing his magic.
He's up in New York. Shaved his beard. Came up in New York. He'll put the fake beard on and come back into the studio tomorrow.
Does he have a new model he's kissing these days?
No, I don't think so.
Unless it's the model of some sort of animatronic thing.
Like, you know, seriously, we remember that commercial? That commercial.
I was only a couple years ago.
Yeah, not too long
and
ago.
they picked some really good ones. They picked some really. The lady that quit her job. I like that one. That was fun.
But do you feel shafted and played that now they're doing Where Are They Now for people that were in commercials?
Yeah, it's crap.
It's not
it's
like
crap.
the cast of the Waltons.
It's
a
pure
commercial.
crap.
It's
pure
garbage.
They're garbage kids. But you know what? I remembered that commercial,
Yeah.
which really was a show-stopping
Yeah.
ad that they had, and but I don't remember the product. How do you like that? I don't remember.
What
was it
was the
GoDaddy?
product?
GoDaddy.
It was?
Was it GoDaddy?
GoDaddy,
Okay,
yeah.
Another
GoDaddy
one of
gets all the
theirs.
press.
Another one of theirs.
But what I remember is the level of hotness of that supermodel actually trumped the grossness of the kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
Because no one could, you just transported yourself, and that to me is total brilliance. Until I heard the lip smacking, then I wanted to throw up.
Max lips. Oh, Max lips.
Congratulations, Mac. We'll give you kudos when you get back and start the show, Rob. You hump. Thank you very much.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
Another big news story of the year concerned the Ecumenical Council in Rome, known as Vatican II. Among the things they did, in an attempt to make the church more commercial, was to introduce the vernacular into portions of the Mass to replace Latin, and to widen somewhat the range of music permissible in the liturgy. But I feel that if they really want to sell the product in...
Listen to this, Oscar. This is Tom Lear.
What they ought to do is to redo some of the liturgical music in popular song forms. I have a modest example here. It's called the Vatican Rag. First you get down on your knees, fiddle with your rosaries, bow your head with great respect and genuflect, genuflect, genuflect. Do whatever steps you want if you have cleared them with the pontiff. Everybody say his own Kyrie eleison, doing the Vatican Rag.
1960s, I believe.
Yeah, early 60s.
Get in line in that processional, step into that small confessional. They're the guy who's got religion'll tell you if your sin's original. If it is, try playing it safer. Drink the wine and chew the wafer. 2, 4, 6, 8. Time to transubstantiate. So get down upon your knees, fiddle with your rosaries, bow your head with great respect and genuflect, genuflect, genuflect. Make a cross on your abdomen. When in Rome, do like a Roman. Ave Maria, gee, it's good to see you. Getting ecstatic and sort of dramatic and doing the Vatican
I like that.
Nice song.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his easy chair, here's Mike.
Someday we'll change that to an office chair. Live from the Cappy Pfeiffer Studios from sunny Southwest Florida in our nation's capital. This is the Mike O'Mara Show. We are powered by Encore Insurance Services and heard daily for over 5 years at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Online, on air, and on your mobile device, the Mike O'Mara Show is a daily radio show and podcast with the greatest listeners on the planet because they get it. And if you're here, you do too. Today, our favorite sponsor, one of our brand new sponsors we really love, OnDeckLending.com. Want to thank them for their business. Attention, business owners. Do you need capital to take your business to the next level like I did? Your time is valuable, and On Deck Lending understands that. That's why OnDeckLending.com, their loan application process is simple and fast, so you can focus on running your business and not filling out paperwork and waiting endlessly for approval. On Deck Lending uses cutting-edge technology to evaluate your business based on performance, not your personal credit. And because they've got that cutting-edge technology, they can give you an answer in minutes. Perfect. That is something that will help any small business. On Deck Lending is 100% focused on their customers. They have dedicated funding advisors and customer support to make it even easier. Plus, On Deck Lending has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and 93% of their customers would recommend them to a friend. I want you to listen to me carefully here. Does your small business need capital for a growth opportunity? Don't hesitate. Visit OnDeckLending.com today or call 888-627-2904 and start the simple application process. It's waiting for you at ondecklending.com. That's ondecklending.com, and we thank them for their business. Well, we got that out of the way. I like to get all the business out of the way about that.
Mike.
Yes.
But it's a new world at the Mike O'Mara Show, and you know what? It is a world that we all take it more seriously. We have fun doing the show, but our business, and I really felt horrible all day yesterday about that. That really, really pissed me. I was mad at myself. I was as mad at myself as I ever get at myself.
Mike, I don't hold back, and I'll tell you that when I initially saw that you weren't on the call, I thought something was wrong, and when I was done, because I think this is the first time you've no-showed on a call, right?
I think
I've done a lot of mine. I've done a lot of them without you guys too. So I mean, you know, I mean, it's just. But I just, when I'm there,
a lot of them, Rob.
I know
tons of them. Maybe
what's that? What's a lot?
One or two.
What did I miss?
No, early on. I mean, early on there were fewer clients, but I remember him doing a lot of them without us when the clients would come on board. It was a one-on-one
What are you saying?
thing.
What is it? What?
The ones that you did without us. That was how it used to be. Now we tend to all show up for them. But when things started, a lot of times it was just you and the client. I remember that. Sometimes I was in the room for them. I don't know what's happened to him.
So were you giving me a hard time when he laughs like that? You're normally giving me a hard time.
You said, and this was kind of it was a backhanded remark where you said, I've done a lot of them without you guys, and this is the first time that I wasn't there when you guys are there.
Oh, no, it's not the first time. I think you guys have. I've missed a couple of them.
No, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, and I said this is the first time you've no-showed, and we were all agreeing.
Is that true? That can't be true.
It's probably not true, but I'm trying to help the cause here.
We're transparent here. I don't care. I'm talking about it. It's all out in the open now.
Oscar, I remember he had one prearranged absence.
Okay, one prearranged.
One prearranged absence, but I think you've been to every of them.
Yes.
I mean, it's you. Every of them. And that's how I talked on the call. I came off as smart.
Spoke on the call. That's how I talked on the call. What's wrong with you? Are you stroking out? Oh my God!
What is also, and this is what's also tough for us, and this is really pulling the curtain back.
Sure,
is that since while we are on the radio, and we are happy to be on the mighty KCJJ.
Yes,
and hopefully, who knows what's going to happen in the future?
That's right.
We are still considered a podcast.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Even on the call with this major agency, this national agency. When we roll off the members that are there and this other podcast that was on the line, she says, "How did this become a podcast call?"
Yeah,
and I called her on the disdain. I said, "Is it?" I was like, "Is there something wrong with podcasts?"
And I remember what I said. And I got her to laugh. I said, "What? You've heard Serial, right? Podcasting is like a big deal now."
She was confused.
She was confused, but she couldn't mask her disappointment.
Yes,
when she said, "Oh, it's a podcast call." Okay, and she's like trying to reset, and it's little shot to the jaw.
So that's why I say that. And again,
glad I wasn't on the call then. I would have given her. Hey, F you!
But Mike, I guess that's the way we look at it, where we sit there, and it really wasn't a big deal because this is a sponsor that we've worked with hand in hand for years now.
Long time, yeah.
I would say that it just. Like you said, we all just want to be an RA game. So I could see why you were upset, but there's no reason to text us, a white lie.
January, especially late January and February, are the months that are lean months in all of show business, is in the radio world and in the podcast world. And so we take it very seriously. That's why yesterday I offered up an appeal to people about the bonus shows because although, as I mentioned in my post, although our listenership is up, we have more people listening to the show than before, our subscriptions are lagging behind that, and I said it was essential for people to get on the pony, and so I offered up, and not our pony, but get on the pony.
Well, you know what, but that's essential too, ladies.
Yeah,
yes. Please.
So I offer that up, and inevitably, when you do that, in social media, you get people that, while they want to complain about their personal situation,
right?
But at the same time, they don't understand that, well, we're trying to improve our personal situation, and that's why it's on my page, and that's why they do this, and it's what they don't understand, and I don't know why they have to share that, I can't do this because of. Right. I don't want that. What I want is
positivity.
I want positivity on that particular thread because I'm promoting something, and that's the way that goes. There are people that lose sight of that. Same kind of people that won't come up. You'll say you're having an event, and they say, "Oh,
see you at Jimmy's on Sunday."
I have a parent-teacher conference that I don't need that. I don't want that on social, and I don't do that.
It weakens our message. And you know what? Sometimes the best way to help us out is to shut up. Don't say it. You know what? If you want to come on board,
mouth.
Quiet, please, mouth.
Right,
Mike. I locked horns with the guy right before I went off to grad school my first week, and I've never really fought with anybody on Facebook because that's just not what I do.
Right.
But I know this guy. Like I actually.
By the way, people can say absolutely despicable things about Oscar, and Oscar will write something like, "Good point," and just continue on.
I do think one of
it's great to read because it actually it's calmed me down in the past when I've been in
haven't you just written under an insult written noted?
There is something like that. Say, I'll pick this up and take this with me for the rest of the day.
Exactly,
something
precisely.
like that.
As a matter of fact, if you want to know the scale, it's called the fighting scale.
Yes.
On you have Rob Spiewak, who quietly assassinates people.
Yes.
All right, that's basically Rob Spiewak, who will just make you go away.
Yes.
Then you have Oscar Santana, who will say noted. Then you have Mike O'Mara that will mix it up, but not regularly. But I'll mix it up on occasion. And then you have the DEFCON 4, which is the Chad Duke scale, where Chad I'm envious of Chad when he does this because Chad will be like, "F you, f-ball, die, please die right now," and I
Chad
love
is
that.
Done, sand has turned to glass.
Exactly, and but it's a pretty good scale right there.
Yeah,
and Rob
scale.
And Rob's scale is not just because Rob is on the bottom of that scale. He's actually a little more proactive than you are, Oscar, because he'll unfriend people.
Yeah, listen,
he does.
Listen for the sound of a silencer on a pistol, because if you piss me off, what you will hear is, and you're gone.
Yeah, you don't mix it up as much as you'll just make them go away.
And they're gone.
Before I left for school, I locked horns with a gentleman, and everybody, if you're on the fan club site, you know who he is. Okay. And I couldn't let go of the fact that he was.
Does he still do Americast though?
No, he was bringing up certain facts of why he left in 2013 and didn't subscribe in 2014, and why he may come back in 2015. So
he was enumerating.
So he was just breaking all this down. I
remember this guy because I locked horns with him.
And I explained to him. I said, "Look, whatever you're doing, whatever your thought process is, if you love this brand of radio, if you're into what we do,
right?
Because it really only survives here." Just turn over the $69, right? Mm-hmm. Or don't and go along your merry way.
Yeah, but
don't tell people why or why not. And what I mentioned on that post, and I'll say this again, during these few months, and this is why I sweat this number, this gap that we have of attrition from last year, and I hope we make up that gap.
And be fair, you're making us all sweat about it.
Yes.
And because hey, we're a team. I shouldn't carry this on my own, right?
Absolutely. And I think we're all very mindful of it.
And I said, this is how we pay our bills. This is how we feed our families this time of year. I'm sorry we're not CBS Radio. I'm sorry we're not Clear Channel. I'm sorry we just that didn't work out for us. So we have this.
Right.
And we ask you to do this, and if you can't, totally understand. That's no one has a gun to your head, and if you can't, we understand. It's not a big deal. It doesn't make you a bad person.
Well, we could make it like one of the big broadcast companies, and we could put 18 minutes of commercials in our 79 minutes. We could do that, but we don't do that.
People have asked us to do that. We don't do that. Right. And so this is what we have to offer, and if you can, that's awesome. If you can't, and you have some sort of hardship, or this just doesn't fit in your budget, that's awesome as well. We just ask you not to make it a big deal that you can't. And if you can, tell people why you can and why you enjoy it.
And
let's
why
keep
they
it positive.
should. Yeah, positivity. If we're asking for a glass of water, don't kick us in the shins. Please.
And it requires every fiber of my being not to go to the completely self-absorbed place that I have in my heart when I want to write down, well, you're talking about how you can't afford this as you are online. So you're paying for something,
right?
You're paying, so you can do. But I couldn't go there. I couldn't go there,
and that's not where we go.
And incidentally, it's priorities in life. And then and then the other guy that says he can't afford it, and then I go and then I research it, and I go and I see the picture. Well, I do, and I go see the picture of the dude at Disneyland. I can't believe and has anybody checked the prices at Disneyland lately? I know it was 2013, but come on,
it was a grand moment at about 6:15 when I hear on my phone, ba-ding, 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 and I'm getting texts from Mike, and they might as well be in all capital letters. Because he said, he's at Disneyland!
Right.
And I replied with a certain 3-word phrase that I think sat well with
Rob
you.
made me laugh. Rob made me spit out my drink when I got his text because Rob was really subtle when he said, burn in hell. It was.
And let me add this.
But I did a smiley face. Just soften
Yes,
it.
exactly. Exactly.
And this is what's also, and again, we've mentioned this, it's worth mentioning again.
Sure.
There's only, and whether you can or can't afford it, that may be, that may not even be a factor in all of this because there's only a fraction of you. A fraction of the thousands. I am talking in the single digits.
Yep.
Right.
That subscribe to this bonus show. So it means even more.
Yeah. You're very important in the
Right?
scheme of things.
Yes.
Very important in the scheme of things.
Yeah, the overwhelming majority of
Single
people are
digits.
listening to us right now and listen every day and don't subscribe, and that's okay because we are selling a product. And if you choose not to get that extra and you're satisfied with the 5 shows a week and you don't want that 6-show a week, that's fine. But when we're trying to promote it, and you're into it, and then obviously you listen. It's just it doesn't help the cause.
Help us.
And really it is just, and it makes it all about you. And it's the same thing when somebody's invited to a party on social media and somebody has to post for everybody else to see why they aren't attending that.
Exactly.
And I hate that, and I've hated that forever. And I want people to stop doing it, especially the guy that decided to post it on my thread yesterday. The same guy that was asking me to appeal to the fan page because they blocked him because of his big fat mouth. Well, no, I blocked you. Rob blocked you. You're gone.
Yeah.
And you may be listening to this right now, but you're gone. And you should know the reason you're gone is because you do make it all about you
and
all
has
the time.
for a long time.
Right.
And we sort of rolled with it, but you know what? Everybody has their limit. Just be positive.
Exactly.
Help us
Exactly.
out. Help us out. We try to help you with laughter.
Right.
So help
Exactly.
us out.
You know what I like? You know what's fair to me? Fair to me is when somebody will pop something up because they've listened to the show and they want to hear something again.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't
that.
use it all the time and I don't use it a lot. But the fact is that I like it because it gives me ideas for content. And that's fine. That's cool. But we're out here, all we're doing the difference between what we did when we started this thing, where we basically had our hand out and said, donate if you want to keep this show going. We now sell a product which is specialty content.
Yeah.
That's one of the wheels on our car. That's what we do.
Even if you don't ever listen to a single minute of the bonus show, I would say for less than $6 a month, it's $5.80 a month, you can support the show by buying the bonus package.
That's
Oscar,
it, and
he
we
loves
appreciate
math.
that. Yeah, he loves the math. We appreciate that. So that's all I'll say on that matter. But I wanted to come clean on that because it was weighing heavily on my mind, along with missing the conference call yesterday. We'll take a break. When we come back, speaking of listeners suggesting ideas, it's time to talk about those Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. A show that I was ready to leave. And I'll tell you why I came back, and now I'm digging it more than ever, because I am a despicable human being.
Oh, no.
We'll be right back on the Mike O'Mara Show.
This week on the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show.
How many Waze icons?
How many
would you,
Wazers, Mike?
I'll
The
do
users
that
are
right
called
now, if you don't
Wazers.
mind.
They're
Wazers.
Wazers?
Yeah.
Like, for
Wazers.
example, I'm sliding over to Tamiami Trail.
Right now, I have less than, I would say, a little less than 100 people on my screen.
Yep.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
on Tamiami Trail now. I have one. I'm going down to, I am all the way to Bonita Springs. I am going down Tamiami Trail to Naples right now as fast as I can. And I do have a traffic warning.
Oh,
I do
there
have
we
a
go.
traffic
Nice.
warning. That's true.
Is it an
But as far
overturned
as-
hearse?
The Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Because 5 hours a week just ain't enough. Always available at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
A-hole. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, just having fun.
Let's face facts. Everybody's got to eat. You got to eat.
You gotta
eat. And as a matter of fact, in Rob, in my case, you got to eat a lot.
Yeah,
But
and
the
often.
trick is eating right. And I didn't want this to go in this direction. Let me tell you about Blue Apron because it's not that tricky thanks to BlueApron.com. BlueApron.com delivers fresh, locally sourced ingredients straight to your door. They give you a big box with everything you need to cook your meal, and they give you the recipes as well. And it's cost effective and it's healthy.
Yes.
All those good things you will love the step-by-step recipe cards. You can make every meal in 35 minutes or less. When Carla made the chicken mushroom casserole, it was phenomenal. When she made the shrimp paella, it was delicious. Say goodbye to your frozen dinners and takeout, and say hello to home-cooked balanced meals at BlueApron.com. Here's the special they're offering, and I want to thank our listeners for getting into this sponsor. I'm really, really delighted with that. Blue Apron is offering 2 free meals in their first week's Boxo Meals. Just pick up your plan to enjoy this offer. $9.99 per meal for 2 people, or $8.74 per meal for families. Just visit BlueApron.com/TMOS, and the offer will automatically be applied before checkout. That's BlueApron.com/TMOS, and I'm looking forward to those Kung Pao chicken tacos.
That sounds phenomenal.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, Christy Jordan, thank you for the suggestion that I have not been talking about, RHWOBH, as we like to call it.
Oh, yeah. You just got so much more hip.
Yes, thanks so much. I appreciate that. So about, was it 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, I'm watching Real Housewives of the Beverly Hills, and I said, I'm done. I'm done.
I remember.
They're talking, all they're doing is talking about their kids going off to college, and it sucks. And what sucked about it, this is what makes me and everybody that loves this show despicable. What sucked is that their lives were wonderful and their kids were going off to bigger and better
things.
They
weren't taking federal aid loans out?
It was boring television is what it was. Let me tell you.
Are they still even around?
I just got a Stafford loan.
Attaboy.
I was like, all right, we're going to defer this for 3 years.
Yeah, fantastic.
Get back to me.
Someday I'll be able to pay for it. Yeah. We'll get back to you. But the thing is, Real Houses, this is now, so the show sucked. And I said, this really is
remember you were embittered. You were bitter about it.
This is the simple formula. I mean, it's these ladies that have money that they're the 1%. I mean, most people can only dream about Bentleys and mansions and private jets, and they have all this, and they have more than any of the other Real Housewives around the country. You don't see the level of wealth that you do on Real Housewives.
When I was watching
of Beverly Hills,
Real Housewives
of the Beverly Hills,
Real Housewives of Manassas, it was a whole different deal.
Yeah, it was totally different.
They got a brand new bike and they would attach it to their fence. And
go to Chuck E. Cheese.
That was a whole episode. They said,
it was terrible.
New used tires. Oh, these are great.
Yeah, and the comparison shopping of big places that sell cigarettes. It's really an interesting
cigarette superstores. Yeah, they're great.
Right. That of course, that was the old episodes before the vaping craze took hold. But anyway, so you have this show, and I'm out. It's just, it sucks. They make all the money in the world. They're fabulously wealthy. I don't want to see the ladies going to New York City decorating their $8,000 a month apartment for their little brats that are going to college when everybody else has to in many cases get student loans like Oscar.
Yeah.
So forget that, and I stepped away. Well, then maybe the bell went off because the promo was that things were going to start getting really, really bad.
Now, I do remember it was...
And then now this year they're worse than ever, and it's fantastic.
I do believe it was like early this month when you said you were going to bail on it, when you said you were done with it. Did you actually skip a couple episodes?
I walked out on an episode. Carla finished with it. I walked out. I said, I'm done. I'm going to go do some stuff. Forget this. And I stopped watching. Then I came back. When I saw the promo, I said, well, maybe one more week.
Okay.
And they started tweaking it out. So you've got, and here is the central drama in the show now. You have the lady that's become very famous because she's on The Celebrity Apprentice as well, Brandi Glanville, the trash-talking
A-lister now among the ladies.
Yes, she's an A-lister because she's gotten the other gigs.
And she used to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, right?
Right, and she's a podcaster, too, so we should probably...
everybody has a podcast.
Well, you know what, Rob? We should try to book her on this show. Can you get right on that?
You bet.
Okay, thank you. So we'll try to get Brandi Glanville on the show.
I'm sure we could get her on.
We could get her on. I'd love to talk to her.
How about
the fact
this? Why don't Rob and I compete on booking her on the show?
Oh, that's a wonderful
That
idea.
would be fun.
That will be fun.
That'd be fun.
All right.
I love a contest.
Oh, hold on a second. Rob just gave up. All right, so...
you see, that's where you're wrong, Mike. That's where you're wrong.
Prove me wrong, Rob. Prove me wrong.
I will prove you. I gave up months ago.
Oh, thank you. Okay, there you go. Hey, he's quick with a line.
Do you really want
quick
her,
with a line, though.
Do you really want her on the show?
Yeah, I'd love to talk to her. I'd love. My God, it'd be incredible. She's the absolute dramatic centerpiece of that show, and she talks crap all the time to everybody. Here's what happened. That turned things, and this is what makes me feel like a truly despicable human being. Here's what I like, and I don't like people getting cancer, but this lady
Good for
Kim,
you, Mike.
this lady Kim, her husband, her ex-husband,
That is the show title.
has cancer.
Now, Kim is
and
the one that was in the Witch Mountain movies, right? She was the child
with
star.
Kim and Kyle are the sisters.
Right, right, okay.
They're related to Kathy Hilton, so they're kind of the aunts of Paris Hilton.
Right,
and
right.
they're in Beverly Hills.
Don't you feel ashamed sometimes that you know all of this? You
Yes,
can't make
I
a
do.
4 o'clock, but you just broke down every single nuance
That's
of
right.
this show.
Why don't you
This
let me see if I
vapid
can?
show.
All right, I'll go through all of them. Okay, let me see if I got all the characters.
And
this
before
year,
you do this, I want to
yes.
underscore one thing, Mike. You don't want anybody to have cancer.
No, I don't want anybody to have cancer, Rob. But the fact that I'm now more entertained because that element has come into it
Yes.
in a roundabout way. Let me see. You've got the two new ladies. You got Lisa Rinna,
Lips.
who is the lady with the big lips, who is married to Harry Hamlin,
And they have
she's a
sex
new
all the
housewife.
time.
Apparently, yes.
Tremendous
and then you
sex
have
life.
Mrs. Vince Van Patten.
Oh, yes.
She's the soap opera actress.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember. See, I don't have her name. I haven't.
It's okay.
But she's my favorite now, and she's on the show. But
Does she talk about dick a lot?
You mean like Dick Van Patten?
Of course. What else would I mean?
No. But she's on the show. Then you've got Yolanda.
Yes.
She's married to David Foster, and she's very wealthy, of course, and she's a former supermodel. Then you have Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh, she
Lisa
rules.
she Vanderpump. She's got a spin-off show
Yes, she
on
does.
Bravo, and Lisa Vanderpump's on that show, and she owns restaurants and is married to a guy much older who has fabulous wealth, and I
and
think
hair.
they
And hair.
and hair, great hair,
Wonderful
and, yeah. And his name is Ken, and he just walks around holding their dog, and reminds me of someone we know. But anyway, so the next person is Kim.
Yes.
Kim. I forget what's Kim's last.
Is it
name.
Richards?
Maybe it's
It
Kim
is,
Richards.
Yeah, I think it is.
Kim Richards and Kyle
and you know
Richards.
what? I'm sorry to jump
They're
on
the
your
sisters.
bit,
Yes.
but I also hate cancer. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you
I don't
very
want
much.
anybody to have cancer.
I'm
and
still
Kyle
holding out.
Richards.
Yeah,
and,
don't commit.
yes. And then you have Brandy Glanville.
Yes.
Brandy Glanville, who's also, and I think I've got all of them. I think that's all of them this year.
We'll take your
And-
word for it.
And so the thing that turned the show for me is because Kim is taking care of her ailing ex-husband. She is a former addict.
Yes.
And
Oh, she's a mess.
This is terrible. They all believe now that she has relapsed, and you might say in real life that would be
no.
a horrible
That
thing
is.
on a television program. She's relapsed.
Man.
You know, and I'm sitting here going, oh, now it's interesting. Now it's interesting.
So is there a lot of secret backdoor meetings between all the other Real Housewives talking about Kim relapsing?
That's all it is.
they-
And
with big, tall, pink martinis? Is it,
I haven't
I
kept up.
don't believe that.
Do they have their intervention in a bank vault?
they have not had an intervention. And the thing about it is, this is Kyle's sister, Kim, and Kyle seems to be completely out of touch about it. However, God, I got to get her name. I got to get Real Housewives
I'll
of the
find it
Beverly
right
Hills.
now.
The lady's name that's married to Vince Van Patten. I don't want to call her that all the time. She's former. She is a soap opera actress, famous, world famous soap opera.
Because
actress.
the Van Pattens are great at pulling trim. They always have been.
They always have been. I think this is, I don't know, third marriage for both of them or something like that. But they live in a house, and because he does the World Poker Tour, they decide to promote. They do. You've seen that, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
He does that with the other guy, with the Texas guy.
But
You know,
it's so ridiculous. How
here
they
we are
make
at
a
World
living.
Poker Tour, and so he has a poker party for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills
of course.
to promote. You know, it's all cross promotion. That's the way these shows work.
Yes.
And so he has them all over, and the drinks begin to flow. And the best thing about this is where the show turned this season. This is where
This
it
is the
now-
savior?
It's now gotten
Eileen
interesting.
Davidson?
Eileen Davidson is
Okay.
the name of the lady. Eileen Davidson. And Eileen has the housewives over for a poker party. And Lisa Rinna picks up Kim at her house to drive over together.
And puts her in her mouth.
And Kim is whacked out of her gourd.
Oh, no.
I mean, like,
Poor
and it's
Kim.
not booze whacked. It's something going on that's
Pills.
just incredible.
Quaaludes.
It's,
God forbid.
It's something probably stronger than that.
Has
And-
anyone implied that she's stealing the cancer medication?
Well, here's the thing. That
'Cause that-
comes
you
up
know
later.
what? That is not
Rob,
good.
you're skipping ahead in the show.
Well, I'm just,
you're
you know-
skipping ahead in the show.
These
Eileen
shows
nice,
move,
by the way. She looks pretty good.
She's strong.
they
Yeah,
move
she's
at
strong.
a tortoise
Thank you.
pace, Mike, and sometimes I try to guess. I'm sorry.
So they have the big party,
Sure.
and the
Poker
thing,
party.
This is when it's beginning to turn because Lisa Rinna,
Yes.
who is another one of my faves, even though she's got the big lips, she says something like "wackadoodle," and she says. They do the scene in the limo, and then they do the cutaway where they're interviewed, and she says
The confessional.
she is out of her gourd, and it's great. I'm going, oh my god, she's being so honest about it. And Kim is just going, and I said, okay, now I'm watching. Now this show, they have more money than any other Real Housewives, and now she's on prescription narcotics. It's fantastic
Because Kim
it's spectacular.
is a mess. Kim is a mess when she's together.
Yes,
Yeah.
a hot mess would be
She
the way
truly,
one would
truly
describe
is.
her.
Oh my God,
Right.
you
And
just
so-
sold that show to me, Mike.
But
I'm
you
in.
know what? When we come back, I'll wrap this up, and just with one other thing because it involves physical abuse.
Oh, no.
And yes, it does.
No.
It involves fist fighting. It truly does. That's how great this show is. So I'm giving a tribute
sounds
to it.
great.
And I'm a great human being for loving it. We'll take a break and come back with more on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Did you know that studies have proven that sleep is as important to a healthy lifestyle as a balanced diet and regular exercise? And since I don't get either one of the last two, I'm really, really glad that I get into my Sleep Number bed every
Yes.
night. And I've discovered the best way to get a great night's sleep, my Sleep Number bed and Sleep IQ technology. I've talked about it for years. I adore it. I can't sleep without it. It is fantastic. If my back is tweaked when I'm out there playing golf or doing anything in the yard, which is a lie, I actually really I up my sleep number, firm up the mattress,
Right.
and it helps. And the Sleep IQ technology lets me know how I'm sleeping. If I have a so-so night, I can make adjustments to my Sleep Number bed because the Sleep IQ technology will tell me how to
Exactly.
do that. It tells you with sensors how you're sleeping, and nothing's attached to you. It just lets you optimize your sleep. Every morning I wake up refreshed. My back feels great. Therefore, I feel great. It is the best. Thank you, Sleep Number. Now, remember, my Sleep Number setting right now is an 85. I've tweaked it up to an 85.
Wow.
Carla's is a 65. Discover a better you with a Sleep Number bed and Sleep IQ technology. Visit a Sleep Number store right now, and you can save $300 on a Sleep Number C3 bed during the final closeout. That's a Sleep Number C3 bed. No better sleep. Find your Sleep Number setting today only at one of the 450 Sleep Number stores nationwide. You can find one near you by calling 800-511-0061. That number again is 800-511-0061. Don't forget to smile and tell them Mike O'Mara sent you. Thank you very much. Okay, so
now back to the poker party.
talk about hot mess. They have at Eileen Davidson's house, and she's married to Vince Van Patten. They have a poker party, and the booze is flowing.
Do they mention if they live near Dick? Because, all the Van Pattens all live on that same street.
Dick, I listen because I watch the show, and I wait when there's Vince on camera for any reference of Dick Van Patten.
We
And
have
you would
the
think,
only clay tennis court in Los Angeles.
and you would think that they
Well,
would
her
maybe reference
husband's
him.
Vincent Van Patten.
Yes,
Right.
that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
just said.
What is Dick? I mean, I don't know the
He's
correlation.
Dick
I'm
Van
sorry.
Patten's son.
Yeah, how many?
Dick Van Patten's son is Vince
and,
Van Patten.
and Van Patten was famous. Again,
Eight
no,
is enough.
Eight
Eight
is
is enough. The
enough.
show
Okay, I
Eight
never
is
knew.
enough.
Him and a lot of movies and a lot of classic
I know the
television.
name. That's
okay.
what I know.
Very good. Oh,
And Dick Van
dog
Patten was
food.
a friend of the Don and Mike show, and we actually went out to Los Angeles and went to Dick Van Patten's house.
Oh, cool.
And when we were at Dick Van Patten's house, we walked through the courtyard, and we're over by the tennis courts. And next door, at that time, Vince Van Patten was living, and we actually walked right into his house, and he was upstairs getting a massage.
Exactly.
And came to the top of the stairs like in a towel and said, "What the hell are you doing?" It was wonderful. It was a great day.
man.
So
And
we had a
remember
chance to meet Vince Van Patten back
How
then. It was
merciless Nels was. He said, sure, he was getting a massage. Everyone
Yeah.
loves a massage.
Absolutely.
Nice stack
It
of
was-
bricks.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
great. Oh, they all had a nice stack of bricks. But more modest than you would think, and you can kind of see that a little bit when they go to certain houses in Beverly Hills
Yeah.
because they're all multi-million-dollar properties. even the small
He's on
places
the other side of the canyon, you know.
Yeah.
You can't see the Hollywood side.
Cannot see the Hollywood side. Do you remember it was a long ride to get to his house?
It was. Went through the mountains, through the the Hollywood Hills.
I won't give his number, but I'll tell you the street. You might recognize it because
Okay.
it's a notable street. Go ahead, Mike. I need to find it, but is it maybe Magnolia? I think
I'll look it up on the map.
Yeah.
Well, they have a beautiful new home, and it's terrific. But they get to the party, and the booze starts to flow. And as Eileen Davidson says in the show, it got uglier and uglier and uglier. And at a certain point, they're all starting to vibe on the fact that Kim is. It doesn't appear to be booze. It appears to be this nonsensical gibberish, like she's
my body.
They don't like my body.
Magnolia Boulevard. Oscar, there you go.
You're stupid. No, you're stupid. It's just like, it's fantastic. And I'm sitting there going, I'm riveted. This is fabulous, fabulous reality television. And so at the end, Kim becomes aware of this, and Brandy is drunk, and she gets between the sisters, and they get physical, and they actually scratch each other. No, the sisters aren't fighting. Brandy tries to block Kim from attending to her sister, and Kim gets physical, and Brandy gets physical. And I look over at Carl because I'm such a despicable person, and I look over and go, "Isn't this really great?"
Yeah.
And I just suddenly realized,
you're Damone.
Yeah. Isn't this great? Look at them.
Great?
They're beating each other, and it's just like, it's horrible. It's what I'm
This
a
is
complete.
so much less.
I'm a pure American. This is what I have.
This is what you
I
rail
rail
against,
against.
yeah.
I rail against this, but the fact is, I'm sitting there just drinking it in.
Yeah,
drinking it because I wouldn't be interested if they were all showing us how wonderful their lives were.
This
I wouldn't
story
want that.
is not about them. This is about you.
Yes,
This
the
is
story is
really
about
about
me.
you.
This story is about me, and then they promo the next week's show, and I wished at that point it was a binge because I could watch it and watch it and watch it. But I watch quality stuff too.
How did the fight break down?
The fight broke out where they all are aware that Kim is saying like weird, nasty, mood swingy stuff at the poker table.
Yeah, and you know what? When you're at the poker
none of these
table, you gotta
biatches
play
know
cool.
how to play poker at all.
Of course not. Of course not.
And you got Vince Van Patten. It looks like, seriously, somebody threw him into a gorilla cage. He literally looks completely freaked out by this.
And has he turned totally orange yet?
Oh,
I know
he's
they love
completely,
to
and his
tan.
eyes look. It looks like he's even had his pupils colored or something like that. He's got a weird look.
Literally on his eyes.
Yeah, it's very odd. It's very, very strange. And then Kim does a thing off to the bathroom, and they said, "Kyle, you better check on her." And Brandy's in there with her, and Brandy's trying to insert herself between Kim and Kyle, and then Kim decides she's going to leave, and Kyle wants to talk to her, and Brandy gets in between. It's like, I need to talk to her. No, don't touch me. Don't touch me. And they get physical, and it's just like, wow, this is really, really great because I'm a despicable human being. I'm entertained by this, and I am thoroughly entertained. And the reason I believe I'm entertained is because they have so much that you want to see their lives are miserable. It's
apart.
terrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
There
And
is
I'm a horrible human being for
when
enjoying it.
When I watched it, I just haven't caught up in the last couple seasons.
Okay.
And I have cable now. Thank you very
How do you
much.
like? Hey, by the way, how do you
Back,
like
baby.
this, Christy Jordan? How do you like this discussion? Is this what you wanted, baby? All right,
As
there
I
you go.
sit there, there is a part of me that isn't just kind of enamored with their wealth. I don't want to see just how rich they are.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
a lot of you that likes
but
that.
there's also a part of me that says,
That's what he wants. Let's be honest. Someday it'll be like, someday. Seriously, this will be the conversation.
Yeah, Oscar. I need another loan. I need another loan, please, God, please. Oscar, just $200. Oscar, you're the COO of Santana Air. Come on.
You should have been with me as I was filling out my FAFSA form yesterday. So my point was, but you also want to see how they react to everyday normal things, like for us,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
For example, with the college with the college episode, what if their kid came up and said, "Hey, there's like a dining. There's a couple different tiers of dining for the dining room. I don't know which tier I should get." Like their kids will never ask them that. They probably just go straight to the
Do
top.
they want
right?
domestic or imported champagne?
By the way, speaking of kids, at Jimmy's Super Bowl party on Sunday, my daughters are both going to be in attendance.
Both of them.
Very,
that's
very
fantastic.
excited. Yes,
Look forward to seeing them.
Yeah, they're both going to be in attendance.
Good for them.
And my daughter Catherine is bringing a bunch of kids, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Did you have a BF? these days?
What's that? I do not
You
believe
better
so.
relax, pal.
I was asking.
Yeah,
You know? Are we going to meet?
All right, sit him on the other side of the room.
Of course.
Okay, please.
Now,
Thank you
question
very
about
much.
the Real Housewives.
Keep him away from the co-eds.
Sometimes the reality shows go over the top when they manufacture events for them to be a part of. And of course, the poker party is a manufactured event where they're going to, pluck these people that would never have a poker party and put them in a poker party with Vince Van Patten.
Right,
Do they rely on that stuff much on Real Housewives?
They do. They put them in party situations quite often where there's alcohol to get it going,
of course,
to make sure that that fuels everything, and that's the way it goes. But it's terrible to be so into it when it got bad. But I'll tell you, it went from being I don't need to see how wealthy they are and how happy they're because that makes me feel worse about myself. But when I see them tearing into each other, it's like, oh, man, because what does America want to see? America wants to say this. America wants to do what I do, sit on the couch and go, all that money, and they're really not happy.
You want to see them. You want to see the mighty fall. You want to see them fall.
And you know what?
Exactly.
It's kind of like the reverse of Honey Boo Boo. You want to see, the tragic have fun and, elevate. They love to see the contrast.
By the way, when we see people on Sunday that we haven't seen for a good long time, everybody should give the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills kiss, where you just touch cheeks on one side and the other, and you go, mwah, mwah.
As I
hello, darling. Hello, Hank Reuter. Hello, mwah,
Uncle
mwah.
Dave.
Chuck Moody. Uncle Dave. No, sorry, that's where I draw the line.
What's that on your shoulder? It's a tooth.
Rob.
That is so messed up. That is not
nasty.
nice.
I'm only kidding. But I love the Real Uncle Daves of Herndon. That is my new favorite reality show.
But you could really conceivably, if you did this for people that had less, it would probably be more controversial. The fact that you have these cameras and you never get any controversy.
You mean if the cast was people like middle class or upper middle class
or
people?
Lower middle class? If you had poor people. Well, they've done reality shows with poor people. I mean, I think Honey Boo Boo would probably be in it. And didn't that work out well?
But there was also controversy with that show, if you remember.
Yes.
Yeah, but early on, before the controversy, the reason that, I think it was Rosie O'Donnell really jumped on the bandwagon. She says, I like seeing people that even though life has dealt them this hand, that they are, together as a family. Of course, it proved not to be true, but we could only go with what was presented then.
Yes.
They're a happy family. They do stuff together, and they're getting it done. True. And that is, that is just like Real Housewives turned upside down. Yeah. You got poor people that are happy, and then you've got rich people that are miserable. People like
it makes me realize how bankrupt my television viewing truly is.
Morally bankrupt or
morally bankrupt, just bankrupt of entertainment as well. And I want to thank everybody for sending me suggestions on shows to watch, which I haven't taken to heart yet, and I haven't watched.
Haven't you watched Marco Polo?
I have not watched Marco Polo.
Fargo?
I haven't watched Fargo yet. I have not watched that.
Boo.
So what I've watched, and I binged on my Downton Abbey, so I don't have that to look forward to anymore. But now it's Real Housewives
Fargo will
of Beverly
take
Hills.
you through next week.
Really? Okay, I might have to dive into that. So
and you know what? If you're done with Downton Abbey, you have your Sundays free. You can start watching Girls.
I hate that show.
I know you do.
Well, why does she have to? Why does she have to show that tubercular tattoo every single scene she's in?
Hey, and by the way, tubercular tattoo is at Gabe's this weekend. No cover.
This past Sunday's episode was a lot of fun.
It was all about her going to. She's in Iowa. Remember, they wouldn't let her shoot.
Yeah.
At
How
the
much
University
Allison
of Iowa.
Williams screen time did they get?
I saw some solid screen time.
Allison Williams had quite a zesty scene in episode 1.
Yeah.
Where.
Did you ever see that episode, Mike?
The first episode is for Allison Williams enthusiasts.
Oh my God!
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Terrific, huh?
Yeah. There's.
No, it's just why does Lena Dunham? Why does Lena Dunham always is it a quirky thing where she has to show her
Well, she's
arms?
in cold weather now, so they're covered.
They are covering her, and she started college.
Good. That meaty with that tattoo. It looks like it was done in a Turkish prison.
Everyone hates her at college, and she's hating them back, and it's great because every time there's an awkward classroom scene, I just imagine Oscar.
Yeah.
Oscar yelling at his classmates, Oscar being hated by his classmates. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so it's good.
Well,
it's a good show.
I don't know. I think you have trouble with the show if you can't get past her. And here's what I can't get past. I think that this, and tell me if I'm wrong because you guys watch the show and I don't. I get the impression that show gained in popularity because Lena Dunham had no fear and let it all hang out and let you see her fat in the bathtub
I would say
and all
that
that
was the
stuff.
initial.
I think that's what drew you in, but then the writing is just so smart, man.
Yeah,
it's fun.
the way that Friends kind of captured a moment in the youth.
Like a cultural moment.
Yeah, a cultural
right?
moment. This is, but the thing about Girls that is so intriguing is that the cultural moment is captured is that everybody at their age is miserable. No one knows what they want to do. No one likes anything.
And they all think it's these damn millennials.
Yeah.
They all think they deserve to be stars.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And
Well,
you know what?
anyway.
It's actually, it has a really negative tone underneath, but the writing is great. The acting is great. And Mike, you can watch for no other reason.
Well, I'm not
Peter
gonna need-
Scolari.
I won't watch it. I won't. I will actually occupy my time flying my my drone that I'll buy from Oscar, since Oscar won't be able to fly his drone in Washington
This
D.C.
communist society.
at all.
Let me tell you, love it or leave it. I may leave it.
When we talk about censorship in media, when we worked for CBS and other corporations, people don't realize that it was not the Federal Communications Commission that was censoring media. That quite often the corporations themselves were doing the self-policing, and
It goes back many, many years. You know, when movies created the Hays Commission in the 1920s and 30s to police themselves, so that the government wouldn't censor motion
would get off
pictures.
their back. Well,
right,
apparently
exactly.
the drone industry, according to Mr. Santana, is doing the exact same thing with drone flying now, at least in the nation's capital.
Thank
Is
you
that
to
right?
the TMOS community. I was hip to this on Engadget and the Washington the Wall Street Journal broke yesterday that one of the major manufacturers of these drones.
Is it Tyco?
It's not Tyco.
Kenner?
DJI
Parker
announced
Brothers.
that they were releasing a mandatory firmware update. And firmware for all you
Is that your impression of a drone?
for all you noobs out there is a software that runs the hardware, right?
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
yes. I'm going to try to forge through this, fellas, please.
I know, he's cackling. I'm sorry.
They announced a mandatory firmware update that will not allow your drone that you paid full price for to fly within a 15.5 mile
I thought
radius.
the mandatory firmware update was from MacWeldon.com.
No.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. very
that would be underwear update.
sorry about that.
So now this drone that I have, if I update the firmware, which I will eventually have to do simply because
To make it operate.
That's what you will have to, because it'll have to talk to your
So
phone.
in order to fly your drone, you have to actually
drive.
You have to actually, but you have to update the software, or it won't fly.
There are just like your phone, you have to update your software on your phone, right?
Otherwise,
but if you chose not to, you could at least fly it.
But
right?
you only have maybe a year if you're lucky, because eventually it'll stop working the way you
It'll
want it
become
to.
obsolete because
Yeah.
there have been so many updates.
They'll stop supporting it.
Right. Okay.
Bottom line. So.
But with the update, don't you get GarageBand?
So essentially, what I have now is a paperweight. Because I live in the district,
Yeah.
and even if I wanted to, I never fly near monuments. I don't fly near sensitive areas.
you like
right?
to fly near children.
No. Well,
Let's go to the park and say, "Hey, little Susie, look what I got."
Shannon, drop me off at the nearest middle school. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, look at these amazing kids. They're amazing.
I put a handful of butterscotch,
root beer barrels.
in my pocket.
Hard candy.
Yeah,
So you have
my
to-
tight
you have to
jeans,
drive-
and I say, "I'm flying, young man. You have to reach in my pocket to get
So
your candy."
because of the self-policing, you will no longer be able to fly your drone in D.C., in the D.C.
Or
limits.
how about this? I won't be able to fly it in Chevy Chase because it's too close to the district.
So you mean it's not just like the entire district? It is 15 miles outside of the
The
district.
entire radius.
Well, who even leaves 15 miles?
I
You
am
have to go to my house.
5.5 miles away from the 4.5 miles away from the White House. I'm not flying it to the White House.
That's
And
true.
this is the company that's doing this, not the
company
federal government.
is self-policing.
That's right.
So the problem
Hasbro is the company.
is I think this is basically like buying a car, and you buy it, and not less than a year later they say, "Hey, we don't think something happens at the White House, right?"
Right.
The car drove through the front, tried to drive through the front gates just a couple years ago, tragically, and someone was killed. If Infinity all of a sudden said, it was Infinity that did this,
Right.
Infinity, the car maker, said, "You know what? We're not going to let you drive Infinities anywhere near the White House anymore." And
But
then
the fact is, they'd have software inside the engine that would make the engine
it's
shut
a
down
kill
if you
switch,
came across
a
it.
kill switch.
Is that what they have in
That's
it? A kill
basically
switch?
what it is.
Oh, you're
Wow.
done.
You're
You're
right.
done.
And you
You
know
gonna
what?
sell it?
So I can't sell it. I wrote them a nice letter. I said, well, who am I going to sell it to? So hopefully some guy in Arizona writes me and says, hey, let's do the sweaty Craigslist handshake when I land in Phoenix in a couple years. I wrote the company, and I requested a refund.
Can we hear some of it?
Yes. Would you like to hear
Here's
my letter?
Oscar's letter.
I didn't think I was going to read
it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Oscar letter to, what's the name of the company?
DJI.
Hey, man.
Go ahead, Oscar.
Hola.
That doesn't start hola.
I'm writing you to request a refund for my DJI Phantom Vision. I live in the District of Columbia, and I've been an advocate of DJI for the past 11 months, both on my radio shows and on television.
He come down with something.
Unexpected.
Unexpected, Wally.
I was stunned and disappointed about today's announcement.
Stunned.
I cannot believe you would sell a product that essentially, and then essentially render the quadcopter useless by imposing a firmware update. I enjoyed flying it at low levels in parks and meetups around the area.
Meetups.
Oh, you're not going to use the phrase drone community again, are you? Oh, no.
I enjoyed showing off your technology that I paid for. I bought a carrying case, extra batteries, new blades.
No.
This is my life, people.
Oh, it's pathetic. Meanwhile, I'm watching Real Housewives.
I will gladly send it back. I politely ask for a full refund.
Hey, there you go.
This is not sternly worded.
But I like the refund request. I'm interested to see how they respond to that.
How shall I proceed? Question mark. That's what I write. Attached, you will see a screenshot of me on local news just a couple nights ago.
Oh, you put that on it?
There
Talking
you go.
about how amazing your product is and why it's important to be a responsible enthusiast. I feel cheated. Oscar.
Oh, that's good. I'll be interested. Do you think they'll give you a refund? Do you think they'll do that?
I doubt it, but you know what, Mike? I felt like I had to write something.
Now, you know what's happening right now? All the people at DJI, is it DJI?
Yes.
They're getting the letter and they're saying, this guy's trouble. Send him free blades.
Oh, my God.
It wasn't threatening.
No,
it was
nice.
It was the honest truth.
You did a good job.
I have to go to the Peeping Tom meetup. Thank you very much. Anyway. All right, everybody. We'll take a break, and we will come back with news you may not need on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Here on the Rob and Joe Show, we try to live up to all the famous duos of entertainment history.
Like Hall & Oates,
The Sonny and Cher,
Sanford and Son,
Ben and Jerry,
Don and Mike,
and of course our favorite, Serta and Mermelstein. Just rolls off the tongue. Rob and Joe Show, new episodes every week. RobandJoeShow.com, iTunes, and on the TMOS app.
Good
Rob
job.
and Joe, you know, I got to give them credit. They sent me about a dozen promos.
That's great.
They are awesome. Love Rob and Joe.
Serta and Mermelstein.
You know, can we give them like a combination name, like Sertlestein?
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. This segment of the program is brought to you by Encore Insurance Services. You need life insurance, but you haven't bought it yet. No more excuses. Today is the day, and Encore will make it easy. Encore surveys the top companies in the insurance industry to compare premiums. It's fast and it's easy. There is no obligation. No salesman will call on you. I love it, and we love them. Remember to call toll-free 866-347-5748 to get a free life insurance quote, or visit smartterm.com/TMOS. That's smartterm.com/TMOS. That's where you'll find the license disclaimer and quality customer service. Encore Insurance Services, LLC. Check them out as a favor to us, but mostly for yourself, and please do it today. Without further ado, let's get to news.
News.
Boo. News. Yes. 80-year-old Brady Bunch mom Florence Henderson still loves to get it on, baby.
Wessonality.
Here's her quote.
Yeah.
It keeps getting better.
Oh.
You learn to do things with more experience, intelligence, and the ability to choose more wisely.
She's 80?
She's 80 years old. Yes,
wow, and still getting it done. Good for her.
Do you think it
She
smells
even
like
has
icy
a
hot?
what's that?
You think it smells like icy hot?
Oh, God. That's that. Well, she even has a friend with benefits, fellas. He's a chiropractor that does not live in California. Guess where he lives?
Where?
Where do you think?
Florida.
Yes, thank you, Rob Spiewak, for 20 points.
You know what's great? When you're 80, the friends with benefits, the main benefit is not getting laid. It's having a chiropractor.
There you go. She didn't say how old he is, but she admitted she likes to date guys in their 60s.
Oh, yeah. Make it crack.
Wow. Gwyneth Paltrow, this is a very sexy news you may not need today.
Nice.
She has revealed that she gets her genitalia steamed at a Korean spa in L.A.
Well, it's better for you than having it fried.
Well, you don't want to put it in the wash.
She lets it all. She reveals everything and does a lot
You
of
were
weird
going to say
stuff,
she lets it all hang out, and you thought better of it.
Is it a steam cleaning? What is it?
Well, this is what she says. Quote,
served with veggies.
You sit on what is essentially a mini throne and a combination of infrared and mugwort steam.
Mugwort
what is mug?
That's like a. Isn't that like a herb or something?
It is.
Oh, cheer up, Tony.
Infrared and mugwort steam cleanses your parts down there.
Yeah,
I see. I could see that.
She
it's
says
just like
it's,
if you have a high-end car, you want to go to a touchless car wash.
Sure.
It's at a brunch.
You know, I bet you Florence Henderson could use some mugwort steam.
Thank you, Rob. It's an energetic release that balances female hormone levels. That's what she says. So who knows?
That's not any hocus pocus. That's all sound stuff.
The sex news continues today. Chelsea Handler has unleashed her chest for world peace. Have you seen this picture on the
Yeah.
No.
I have. She is in Israel, and she posted a picture of herself sitting on a camel topless.
102.
She loves doing this on Instagram.
She does. She loves showing her breasts.
doing this, but she loves doing it in inappropriate places.
Yeah.
It's
and
almost
she has
like a problem.
She has Stars of David stickers on her nipples.
Oh,
And I saw the picture. She's kind of looking, pointing up to the sky. She captioned it, quote, "A Muslim allowed a topless Jew to sit on his camel. And we say we can't live side by side. I say we try, and we can, and we will. And you don't even have to be topless. L'chaim." That's what she.
Wow, she is
nice
very bold
cans for her age, right?
She got it together.
Very nice. I think she's very proud of her body, and she likes to show it off.
Yeah, she needs a little steam though.
You can bet on more than just the game on Super Bowl Sunday. They always post this time of year. Online sports books have all kinds of other crazy bets that you can bet. I always thought that if we were in Vegas at Super Bowl time, it might be a lot of fun to put one of these weird bets down.
Sure.
You can bet on how long Idina Menzel's national anthem will last. You can bet on whether Katy Perry will show cleavage at halftime. I would say that's probably
guaranteed.
A small payout on that one. And whether Marshawn Lynch will grab his crotch. Hallelujah. And what color Gatorade will be dumped on the winning coach. You can bet on things like that.
Can you bet on whether Al Michaels is going to show cleavage?
Hey, he was on the Golf Channel last night, as a matter of fact, being interviewed by David Fay.
I was watching Channel 4 NBC, and they had a promo for the Super Bowl. Apparently, the game is this Sunday. And they during the promo,
I'm such an ass.
They put up the briefest shot of Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels, and I realized it's because no one wants to know that they're calling the game.
Right,
I mean, they're horrible. They're
terrible.
horrible. I'm so glad we're going to be in a bar where we can watch and not listen.
I rarely do this on the show, but I'm going to do it this week. We have the top 10 albums on the Billboard pop charts.
Oh, cool.
Are you ready for this? Number 10, I don't know any of these, so you can mock me if I mispronounce anything. Uptown Special, Mark Ronson. Anybody know that?
Yeah, that's got Uptown Funk on it. Bruno Mars, a collaborator. That's a good song.
Number 9, In the Lonely Hour, Sam Smith. Anybody?
Yes.
Anyone?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Number 8, it's new, The Pale Emperor with Marilyn Manson. He's got a brand new album out.
Wow, still happening after all these years.
Number 7, another new one, What a Terrible World, What a Beautiful World. The Decemberists. Has anybody heard of the Decemberists?
They've been around a while. I didn't know they had any new product out.
Number 6, the Pink Print. I'm sorry, the Pink Print.
How's that?
The Pink Print. Nicki Minaj. And number 5, new B4 Daz. Joey Badass, 58,000 copies, so that's number 5. Number 4 is X by Ed Sheeran. Number 3, Tidal, Meghan Trainor. Number 2 is 1989 by Taylor Swift. And number 1, at the top of this week's top 10 albums, ladies and gentlemen, American Beauty, American Psycho, Fall Out Boy. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing like $400.
Yeah. Fallout Boy.
Think how many copies of that you could buy for
Rob, is this
$456?
Rob, what can you say about? I mean, this is obviously they're
hot
a
right
new
now.
thing for them, or
and
what?
It's so hot right now, Mike.
But you know what? It's a great album. It is. Of all the stuff I've heard, it sounds a lot like their older stuff, but it's more poppy. There's at least 4 singles on it, and the title track, "American Beauty, American Psycho," is fantastic. It's a really.
Is it worth $500?
The album is not $500. You can download the album for $8,
look at you.
and it's worth it.
Rob's investment is more than that. His total investment in Fallout Boy.
I think about the time when she was working on that contest.
Yes.
Oh, the 4 weeks of airtime.
Yep.
Yeah, we should bill him for that.
Yeah,
oh,
you
absolutely.
should.
Bill him. Charge him. Damn it, charge him.
Good luck with your drone.
There you go. Yeah.
Hope you get a big fat check.
I'm not gonna get
And you know what? You'll never hear Fallout Boy on this show like I just did. Anyway, one woman's attempts to make sure a cockroach was dead may cross over into the realms of overkill. When a young female janitor in Taiwan... Oh, we need the music.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much.
Does she work at the steaming parlor?
When a young female janitor in Taiwan, that's Korea, Rob,
Oh, I'm
was
sorry.
cleaning an office, stumbled upon a cockroach. She didn't hesitate to act. First, she stepped on it. Next, she wrapped the cockroach in tissue paper and crushed it. Then she set it on fire.
Good.
Then, just to make sure it was gone for good, she tossed the cockroach into the toilet, forgetting that she just cleaned the toilet.
Oh, no.
The result of the flaming cockroach and the cocktail of detergents in the toilet bowl was an extremely potent homemade explosive, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir.
Science is great.
Promptly went off with a bang, blowing the toilet apart and stunning an office full of employees outside.
I'm
yes,
stunned.
stunning the employees
Oh,
outside.
stunning.
Thank you very much. Yes. And now a little something. Dover, Delaware police say 39-year-old Marlo Holmes was arrested Monday afternoon during a traffic stop. They said police dogs alerted officers to the presence of narcotics inside the car Holmes had been riding in. During a search of the car, officers said they discovered more than 28 grams of cocaine stuffed into his prosthetic leg.
Oh, no.
And Holmes was arrested. Police say he faces charges of possession with intent to deliver cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. He was jailed with bond set at $81,000. Wow, that's a steep bond there. Police say they kept the drugs as evidence but returned Holmes' leg. A police spokesman said until the dogs arrived, officers were stumped. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, it's an easy joke. What are you going to do? Thanks a lot, everybody. That's News You've Been on. We'll come back with the Audio Vault and Rob Spiewak right here on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Hi, I'm Tony Perkins.
And I'm Gary Stein.
And we are of the Tony Perkins Show featuring Gary Stein. If you're listening to this show, why not listen to our show? It's just as good, if not better.
Oh, I think it's probably better.
I'm not sure we should say that during the show.
You know what? Let's not say it.
All right, but listen to our show because it really is better.
Really, really good.
Check it out at TonyPerkinsShow.com.
The Tony Perkins Show.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Harry's.
Harry's.
You want to look your best for Valentine's Day, so please, people, listen to me. Don't forget about your face. The best way to make your face a thing of beauty, the best way to make your face a thing of beauty is to do what we all do. Use Harry's. Once you experience the look, the feel, the quality of the shave, you will be hooked. And with free shipping, you'll save major bucks while getting a better shave for your face. Just for Valentine's Day, all new customers get free engraving?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
How cool is that?
Free engraving on the Chrome Winston Razor. The Winston Razor. That is their finest hour. All you have to do is use the code TMOS Slove.
No, TMOS Love. For Valentine's Day.
TMOS.
Mike.
What is it?
TMOS Love.
Jeez.
So TMOS in caps, love in lowercase?
Yes.
Ass?
TMOS
Is that
love.
the way? How about all in uppercase so I can read it correctly?
It doesn't matter. It's not case sensitive.
It's not.
So TMOS Love.
So TMOS Love, no spaces. That's TMOS Love, no spaces at checkout. Your Winston set comes with an engraved razor, 3 blades, and either Harry's shave cream or foaming shave gel for only $25. That's $15 off with the code TMOS Love.
I'm on it.
Tomorrow is the last day to get free shipping on your engraved chrome Winston in time for a Valentine's Day. Go to harrys.com right now. Enter the code TMOSLOVE at checkout, and Harry's will personalize your chrome Winston razor absolutely free. That's right. Enter my code TMOSLOVE at checkout to receive your personalized razor and save $15. Go to harrys.com and fall in love with a better shave. Ah! Thank you, God!
Hey, where did the TMOS slow come from?
I don't know. It was the way it was written. Let's open up the audio vault. Let's open up the audio vault with Don fucking Draper, please. Thank you very much.
This is, I hate to say that I think this was done on purpose because it's a Phoenix news station and all eyes are on Phoenix right now. Phoenix. Right? This is Fox 10. The guy goes over to the weather map, and they've got the temperatures on the the map, and some of them are like 72, 68, and then a few of them say like 1,490. So someone has messed up the weather map. Check out how this guy handles it. He's pretty good. His name is Corey McCloskey.
We'll bring you on into the temps, and we're all doing okay. Wow, 750 degrees in Gila Bend right now. And 1,270 in Ahwatukee. Now, I'm not authorized to evacuate Ahwatukee, but this temperature seems pretty high.
Cave Creek is really
Yeah, Cave Creek, Fountain Hills, they don't look good either. And frankly, Wickenburg is a total loss. You might as well just get out of anywhere along this 60 here. It's very warm. Surprise is starting to heat up as well at 1,300 degrees.
Unflappable.
Again,
Yeah, he was great.
Spots seem to be Chandler and Mesa. Scottsdale is doing okay so far, but you're sort of surrounded by some pretty intense heat. So, again, I'm not your dad. But well, you still can. I think
Really
steel
took it and ran with it.
boils
That's
about
fantastic.
This temperature. So Cave Creek, there's probably nothing left up there right now. So
What temperature he points to, he says, I think steel boils at that temperature. Well, I'd like to think it's genuine, but I'm
think
suspicious.
it's probably the graphic junkie.
Well, it was on the Today Show. It was on the Today Show this morning, and they showed it. It was a much shorter clip that they played. But sometimes I guess the computers generate those numbers incorrectly.
Does that clip make this guy's career?
It makes him very important this week.
Is he like he's maybe
it
LA
helps.
time, and maybe somebody in LA says, "Oh, look at this guy,"
and he's a pretty boy too.
Helps him.
He's a pretty boy too.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
That's cool.
And speaking of pretty boys, Mike, here's a brief tape of the way Johnny Depp talked in 1988. I just want you to listen to the way he used to talk. Okay.
I'm dealing with it the best way I know how, which is right now just. I try to meet as many people as I can. And
okay, so he's got a nice, cool guy delivery,
All 21
right?
Jump Street.
Here he is doing a press conference for Mordecai in Japan. Okay, the thing is that he's giving a
Can
ridiculous...
you play the tape again? Play the original.
Okay. I'm dealing with it the best way I know how, which is right now just. I try to meet as many people as I can and sign as many things as I can. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Okay, he's giving an excuse as to why he missed a press conference. It's a silly story, but listen to the way the man talks now.
I was attacked yesterday morning by a very rarely seen or experienced animal called the chupacabra.
チューパーカブラというですね、珍獣に実は攻撃されて。
But he's turned into Jack Sparrow, Mike.
Yeah,
I fought with it for hours.
Just a quick sidebar. So Lady Gaga, which is I don't know where she was interviewed, but I just heard an interview with her that she said fame totally f's with your head so much.
Oh, I totally believe it.
She said that she found herself, and then she's taking this past year off of touring. She found herself. She said she stopped herself in the middle of an interview. And she was talking in a British accent, and she said, WTF.
Oh, seriously? She addressed it?
This is not me.
Oh, it's like a Madonna thing.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Johnny Depp's not the first. Many actresses have done it, especially Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah, but it so messes you up that you forget like where you're from and what happened.
Good for her for addressing it, though.
Yeah, she says, wherever she's like, I'm from Long Island, New Jersey, wherever she goes, I don't talk like this.
Wow. Yeah,
what
strange.
happened, right?
Very, very strange. And I think that they don't have anybody, they don't have any checks and balances.
No one tells them.
Every day, we're in the public eye on a very small level, but every single day we open up these microphones, we call each other on everything.
Yep. Yeah.
And if there was anybody that was pulling any kind of phony crap, we're called on it. We call ourselves on it.
Yep.
I think when you're surrounded by 25 people that are all kissing your ass, nobody's going to say, Why is he speaking with
Yeah.
British accent?
I want to play you a feel-good tape. I love this. I love the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This kid is named Daniel Duncan. He put in for his Make-A-Wish was to go to the Super Bowl. Yeah. He expected to go to the Super Bowl next year, but he's a Seahawks fan. So they fast-tracked it, and they had a Seahawk linebacker, Bobby Wagner, call him and tell him he was going to the game this weekend.
Man,
Listen to this.
Daniel, phone call.
Hello? Yeah? Oh my God! Oh my God! Is it really Bobby Wagner? I'm good. Oh my God! I'm freaking out! Who was it? Bobby Wagner. Oh no!
Wait, what?
What did he say? He said that we're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's who you want to go to the Super Bowl,
cool.
man.
Pretty cool for a 14-year-old kid. God bless the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's your Magic Audio Vault. Have a great Thursday, everybody.
What a fun show.
That's amazing. The fact
That's
that
it.
they can do that for
Another
him.
Mike
Love
O'Mara
it.
show has come and gone. Be sure and join us again for more fun and more thrills at MikeO'MaraShow.com. If you want to correspond with the Mike O'Mara Show, send a letter or package to TMOS, Box 2796, Leesburg, Virginia, 20177. And to get your message or birthday request into our mailbag, email Rob with 2 B's at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Remember, we rely on your word of mouth. Tell a friend or family member about TMOS and make sure they get it too. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, we'll be back tomorrow with a brand new one. So long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Please remember to check out Encore Insurance Services, LLC. Since they compare the rates for you, they do all the work and all you have to do is save the money. Just visit smartterm.com or call 866-347-5748. Again, that's 866-347-5748 or smartterm.com.
This is good news, people. The French.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.